Hey guys, welcome to episode 32 of Two Girls Chirping. I'm Lauren.
I'm Abby.
Today we are debriefing. We are going to debrief. I almost said episode 2 of the NHL. What I meant is week 2 of playoffs, not to be confused with episode 2 of playoffs.
I'm about to have an episode with how these playoffs are going. For me personally.
Yeah, it's not been fun. But there's been some good moments.
It's the only part that's really not been fun is the Habs Capital series. Because, I guess you're
I'm
also
a Devils fan.
I mean, I like the Devils too, but did we really think that they were going to progress past round 1?
Since when do I not do delusion?
That's
I literally
fair.
predicted the Habs to win the Stanley Cup based on delusion.
Speaking of delusion, before we get into the playoffs, do we want to talk about the Canucks and the Quinn Hughes of it all? Did we talk about last episode?
We briefly touched on this week on what in the Canucks is going on.
What the Canuck is going on.
This week in Canuck Around and Find Out, we discovered that Quinn Hughes is not answering Jim Rutherford's calls.
No.
How did we find this out? He told us in a press conference. Why is this man spilling all of this?
It was so funny too because he was like, it was all about Rick Tocchet.
Oh God!
No longer the head coach of the Canucks. And
I literally thought
it
it couldn't get any worse, and then Rick Tocchet refused to come back next season, which honestly, I don't disagree with. But how dare you break my heart?
They were like, how's Quinn Hughes dealing with this, as the captain of the team? And he goes on to be like, oh, he's a sensitive guy.
He didn't answer
He's
my
not
calls.
answering my
calls. I hope
calls.
he's playing golf. He's on break.
Yeah.
You literally broke him as a human being thrice this season.
Wouldn't be
of course he doesn't want to answer your calls. I'm not at work. When I'm not at work, I am not answering calls.
Yeah.
They're so
and also he
interesting.
posted on his story that he was at a Knicks game too, and they were like, oh, where is he? Oh, he's not. He's
on vacation.
He's got his. Well, okay, but you still have to answer your calls.
I do not answer my boss's calls.
Well, you're not getting paid millions of dollars a year. At a level, you gotta answer. But
I'll hit you back.
I thought you were just threatening me for a second.
That being said, when my boss did call me when we were on vacation, I literally answered in the airport terminal. She called me when we were on the flight, and I took my phone off airplane mode, and we got off the plane, and I was like, what? You rang? Is something wrong? Am I fired? No.
Yeah.
But that's the last time I answer a work call when I'm not at work.
Yeah. I think Quinn just needs out.
He's over it. I hope that he goes to Jersey. Sure. There, I said it. Can we make it happen? They're not going to be able to get Jack. Best
Jack
they can
Hughes
do
is not
Luke.
leaving New Jersey unless it is of his own free will, and he wouldn't choose to go to Vancouver. There's no world in my head where.
How many worlds do you have in your head?
Did you catch last episode that you were like in an alternate reality which is the world we're living in? I was like, what?
Yeah, I did say, but I always say some nonsense. That's not new for me.
There's no world in which Jack Hughes is going to go to Vancouver.
That's not the world I'm going to recognize.
No, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I will not be accepting that timeline at this time.
Yeah. What else has happened outside of the playoff series? I think that was the only thing.
Mike Sullivan.
Oh my gosh, yes, Mike Sullivan is going to be the new Rangers head coach.
Raise your hand if you saw that coming. That's what I thought.
Okay.
Didn't have that on the bingo card.
Is that crooked?
I don't know.
It's going to be what it is.
And what it is what it's going to be.
Sorry, I thought the camera was crooked again, but oh well.
The meditation's working.
For who?
Me, when I'm not put in situations where I'm stressed and where everything goes according to the invisible timeline that I've put in my head.
Yeah. Speaking of invisible timelines, I really wanted everybody to wrap up their series by today. It's Saturday.
All but one did.
All but two. So the Avalanche and the Stars will play tonight, a Game 7.
God almighty.
And the Blues have forced a Game 7 against the Jets that they'll play Sunday, tomorrow, when we're recording. Don't worry, I'll insert what happens. You'll know before we do. Well, that math ain't math, but it's fine.
At the time of this recording, you will know before we do who goes to round 2. Rhyme.
In the alternate universe that
in
is
which
the
we
world.
are currently residing in.
So, the Avs and the Stars this week. Oh, game 5. I don't know if you saw. In Dallas, Wyatt Johnson. The Avs versus the Stars.
I asked the question as I processed you said in Dallas, and then I felt like an idiot.
It's okay. Wyatt Johnson came out, scored 9 seconds into the game, pop off, and then went on a power play.
Yeah. Yeah.
And scored in the second and had an assist. So he had a very good night.
Yeah, he did. Rantanen
had his first goal versus the Avs.
Wow.
Since the trade.
Took him long enough.
Yeah, I also said, McKinnon just got cross-checked in the back of the head. No call.
We didn't see it.
No.
We have not raised enough money. Actually, we don't have to raise money, but we can't make the refs go get the free LASIK surgery, so.
Yeah, we've decided, because people call me out.
They didn't call you out. They educated you. We didn't know.
Yeah, as soon as I saw someone say LASIK literally did an advertisement kind of making fun of it. Which is great marketing, might I add. I remembered that I had indeed seen that, and it wasn't an original thought.
LASIK offers free surgery.
It was a joke.
For refs. It was a funny. It was a bit of a laugh.
It was a bit of a laugh. To yo.
Danielle.
We're a bit cracked.
Yeah, we went outside to IndyCar yesterday, and honestly, we didn't have a drop to drink other than like a couple lemonades and a lot of coffee.
Yeah, we crushed some lemonades.
I feel hungover, and I think it's just because it's been so long since I've been
out in the sun for that long.
Like the direct sunlight to an event,
and
if you will.
And also in Alabama yesterday, it was like 90.
Yeah, 90 and humid. So it just sucks all the toxins out of your body, leaving you feeling exhausted.
That being said, tomorrow we will be drinking out in the sun.
Tomorrow we're going to make it worse by adding alcohol.
Tomorrow we are going to do the same thing, but with a lot of alcohol.
Moderate. Mild to moderate. We don't want to comment.
A decent amount.
It's in God's hands, okay?
Yeah, what happens at a racetrack is none of my business.
I plan to drink until I start crying about the Devils and the Habs. Up until that point, that's where my cutoff's going to be. That dog is really cute, though.
Also, in Game 5, I'm watching it, right? I hear Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm going to talk about?
No, but I'm pretty sure we watched it together. Did we not?
I don't know, but they started playing Anti-Hero as the Avs took a penalty. And that was so funny. Good. It's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me. Yes. I was like,
it was literally
that is
hilarious.
Iconic.
And then I think the Blues played a Taylor Swift song at some point last night.
I love it.
I heard it.
I
know it.
I watched the first period and the third period of that game.
That's funny. I watched the first and the second.
What was I doing during the
Combined,
second?
We watched it all.
Yes. Okay, and then Game 6 in Colorado, they kept it pretty clean. McKinnon had a weird goal off of the shoulder of a Dallas player.
I personally didn't like it. I didn't like that goal.
It was weird. He was passing. Dallas tried to clear the puck, and it bounced off the shoulder of a Dallas player into the goal. They called it McKinnon's goal, which, you score an own goal, that's fine, but it was weird. If they had only won by 1 goal, I'd be pissed a bit at that, but they won by 3.
Yeah,
so it's fine.
There was
plenty. It was a 4-7 game, and they forced a Game 7 out of it. Live, laugh, love. Landy had a 2-point night.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, so that series is tied. So the Stars won Game 7, and we'll go into round 2. My notes. I'm so glad you asked. First of all, I'm sat on the bathroom floor watching the third period, hugging the toilet. It was beautiful. Got to watch Rantanen have a hat trick. I'm assuming that's what I was saying by Rabtibibib her trick in my phone notes. But I was doing really well. Mikko Rantanen scored 2 back-to-back in the third to tie the game with just 6 minutes left to go. And then Johnston scored on a power play with 3:56 left to take the lead. And then Mikko Rantanen scored an empty net to complete a hat trick in Dallas. It was beautiful. I actually loved it. So sorry to the Avs. I wanted this for Landeskog, but I I think I like the Stars better going into a Game 7.
To make a note.
Okay.
There was one night, and I'm double checking myself, but I believe it was Tuesday. It was not, and that's what I get for thinking I know anything. It was Sunday. All the teams except for the Oilers won their game by 5 points. The Jets and Blues went 5-1. The Hurricanes and Devils went 5-2. Capitals and Habs went 5-2. And then the Oilers had to spoil it by only getting 4.
Yeah, there's a lot of 5s going on.
There's a lot of 5s.
There's a lot of...
5s and 7s, really.
5s and 7s, yes.
They've been showing out.
Just kind of crazy.
Who are you going for? Who do you want to win Game 7?
Dallas.
Yes. Let's say it on 3. Do you have your thought?
No, I'm contemplating. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Dallas.
Stars.
Wait,
Why?
I don't know. It's what came out of my mouth.
Dude, I don't know. I went into this. I didn't know a single... I knew, like, Brady Shea. Is that the one that plays?
Brendan Smith.
I always think that.
Brady Shea plays for the Nashville Predators. Love you, Brady Shea.
That's our king right there. Who's this one?
Brendan Smith, who used
Brendan
to play...
Smith.
Brendan Smith.
Brendan Smith.
Who used to play for the Devils.
I only knew him because every time we saw a Stars anything, you're like, Brendan Smith!
Hi, Brendan Smith, right! He's also the guy that broke Connor Bedard's jaw. It was an accident.
Okay. Anyways, I was going to say that's the only player I had heard of and that I like recalled. I know you've told me more.
Yeah.
But I couldn't identify him on site. I still don't think I could identify any of them on site. But I like their vibe.
I do like their vibe. I think here's the thing.
Them. They've got a lot of good energy.
They've got a Gen Z girl running their social media.
Yes.
Therefore, I am obsessed. Is it the Jets that, like, very clearly have a man running their social media?
It's definitely the Golden Knights.
The Golden Knights is who I'm thinking
God.
of. There is a 32-year-old man running that social media platform, which is fine. But there's a difference between that and a Gen Z girl running.
Did you ever watch Merlin?
No.
Okay, for my girlies and guys that watched Merlin, tell me that the social media guy for the Golden Knights didn't just watch that show and was like, yeah. Because it makes me physically cringe to post anything about them because it's so... The filter editing thing they do is just terrible.
I think,
it's absolutely terrible.
Their color scheme is tough.
I think their color scheme is fine. It's okay. It's not bad at all. But I would say that...
Sorry.
They make it, what would be like good basics, they make it atrocious with the way that they post.
That's fair.
I'm like, just look at Utah. Look at the Blues.
Utah wins the social media.
Yeah, they work overtime.
All
and
of
I
them.
hope they get a raise. And I want the same thing for the Blues admin team because they are also so good.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of the Blues Jets series is also tied at 3 games each. Their Game 7 is Sunday. The Shin brothers.
I didn't know that these two existed before this. And I want to know more about them, a.k.a. do they get along in real life? Is this just the playoffs or what?
I think it's just brothers being aggressive. But I think also tensions are high.
Yeah.
Because of the playoffs. I don't know. Game 5.
I don't know. The Hughes would never act like that.
No.
The Kachucks would.
The Kachucks would and have.
And sources say they'll do it again.
We'll do it again. So, Game 5 in Winnipeg. The only note I have for this game is I didn't watch it, but I read the recap, and it just said Braden Shen crushes Sheffield into the boards, and he left injured.
That's a pretty apt description of what I saw.
Yeah. That's literally the only note I have for Game 5. But for Game 6 last night, the Blues won it 5-2 in St. Louis to force a Game 7.
I see you 5-2. We are the same person.
We are. First of all, I'm glad you said that. I'm not 5'2", I'm 5'3".
I'm 5'2.5".
Yeah, it was a really good game. This series has probably been the most aggressive one and the one with the most penalties, in my opinion. Maybe it's just because they've played more games. But you beg to differ?
The Capitals? The Habs? The bench?
This series has had more penalties, though.
That's fair.
That was a
the
chaotic
rest did not
game.
Call
they didn't call shit in that series.
No.
This series,
They're
just
also
last
scared
night.
Of Tom Wilson.
Just last night, there were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 penalties just in the third period. And then there were probably that same amount within the rest of the game. But I'll tell you what happened, unless you want to go.
Nope.
So the Blues scored first. That goal gave off goaltender interference.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like it at all.
But luckily, they scored their second and third goal within a minute of each other.
Yeah. The Blues
and those were clearly gold.
Yeah, that's true. So, third period. I didn't put many notes, dang.
Fight.
I said...
Fight yelling.
I said...
Penalty.
Where's Connor Hellebuck? Because he
didn't even come back
to the bench in the third period.
I want to update on him.
I do, too. People have been talking about him as if he is... As if he wasn't the number one goaltender of the regular season. They keep talking about the disappointment of him in the playoffs.
And I want to fight, personally.
Back the fuck off. Respectfully.
Respectfully? You do it, then.
Yeah, get out there and do it.
You do it.
Period.
You're trying to catch these fists.
You're trying to catch these hands.
Because I will stand
They're freshly
on guard.
manicured, but I can still make a fist.
I will stand on guard for thee.
All that I have is small dog pile in the corner at 3:14. 5 roughing minors given out. Oh, look, more yapping. Luke and Braden Smith were going at it.
Mm-hmm.
Braden he was on the bench yelling at Luke, and then Braden got a penalty. During a commercial break, one of the reporters asked him, what did you say to get a bench penalty? And he said, I told Luke to stop running around. Which, I don't know about that, but their coach was livid at the fact that Braden got a penalty off of that, so maybe there's some truth. I don't know.
I thought that their coach was yelling at... I thought he was yelling at Luke Shin, and then Braden jumped in, and then they separated, so they were yelling at each other diagonally, while the coach is yelling at the ref parallelly.
Parallelly?
And it was a lot.
I did see... Braden yelling at Luke at one point, and the coach literally grabbed his shoulder and just sat him down. He said, "No, Ken."
I wish that the Capitals coach would have done that with Tom Wilson at any point.
I think that the Capitals coach wanted to go at it too.
Of course he did.
So 2 misconducts were given out in that incident too, and then I said at 11:30, 5 more minors given out. Oh, look, 2 more before the end of the game.
Oh, look.
Jesus.
You get a penalty.
Also,
you get a penalty. Everyone gets one.
Yeah. So
it's called inclusivity.
Period, you're right. The third period was basically penalty after penalty after penalty. I think 2 goals were scored, 1 by each team, but the game was already over at that point. A fan did get hit by a puck and had to be helped
the risk
out.
We take.
Yeah, that was awkward.
Safe recovery.
Yeah, good luck. Hey, I bet you'll get free tickets.
I don't think so.
If you play your cards right, you could get a season pass next year.
Someone hit me with a puck then.
The next series was the closing.
Wait. You're going too fast. Who do you want to win the Jets versus Blues series? Think about it and we'll say it on 2.
On 2? Okay.
1, 2. Blues.
Jets. No.
Why?
Because I saw that Kyle McDavid made another...
Oh, God, it's so good.
Another, sweater for the Jets wags.
Yes.
And it's so pretty. And I'm like, oh, maybe she's got more up her sleeve.
See, my thing is I really like the Blues social media. So I'm
fair.
just like, cutie pies. I want them to win.
Also, I want a redemption arc for Connor Hellebuck. Stop shitting on our guy.
Yeah, y'all didn't have shit to say in 4 Nations when he held y'all down.
And also throughout the entire regular season when y'all are like, he's the greatest goaltender to ever walk the face of the earth.
I feel like his stats speak for himself. But, I mean, they talk some wild trash the announcers do in playoffs. I'm like,
they do.
Y'all better check yourself.
Yeah.
Y'all throwing out a lot of things that I think we should be leaving as inside thoughts.
Yeah, not every thought needs to come out of your mouth.
Especially the mean ones.
Yeah.
Let's leave
and
it in.
whoever threw that paper, your mom's a hoe. All right, they talked a lot of shit about Connor Hellebuck again. Granted, he did allow 2 early goals in the game, and literally the entire game the commentators were talking about how they need to pull him from the game. Like, whose side are you on? But in the third period, it was 3-1 Blues until like a minute left in the game. The Jets tie it with 3 seconds remaining. They had initially tied it at 106, but the goal was called off because it didn't fully cross the goal line. Whatever. They said, it's fine. I'll do it with 3 seconds left. Well, then they go into overtime. And then they go into another overtime. And all I'm saying is if Hellebuck was a bad goaltender, he wouldn't have been able to keep the Blues from scoring this whole time. But hey, nobody asked for my opinion. Oh no. Lowry scores for the Jets with 3:50 remaining in the second overtime for the Jets to win the game and the series 4-3. My only note, the Jets did not allow a single empty net goal in this series. Pop off. Lauren is sitting next to me mouthing pop off. And my other note, how the fuck did the Jets pull off a win in this game? It was so bad. They were not playing well at all. And it's not Hellebuck's fault. It's a team's fault. That's all. I'm a Hellebuck apologist. Get wrecked. I'll see you in round 2. Okay. Next series?
Yes.
Every other series that we're going to talk about has finished. First of all, the Canes and Devils. If you're just listening, Lauren is pouting and crossing her arms. Game 5 happened in Raleigh. Went to a double overtime with Aho scoring the game-winning goal. Anderson is injured. He's, like, actually injured.
Bro, when is he not? With love. I said
yeah.
that.
Our Ginger
With
King.
love. I can't say anything. The Hughes get shoulder injuries like crazy. 1 a year, annual refund. They subscribed.
What was crazy to me is the Devils they've ended period 1 with the Devils leading 3-0.
That's the thing. How the fudge we end one period, you're up 3-0, and then you immediately give them 3.
Yeah,
what are you doing? Where is our defense? I understand that like Luke and a couple of our other guys are not there. This is the playoffs. What are we doing?
Their best.
I know they're doing their best, but it was so painful.
It was.
I'm not even
mad
rough. Because that's pretty much how I like rationally saw it going. But dang, it hurt.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about the end.
Well,
but I will.
I'm gonna say it. So they go into double overtime. In the second overtime, Kokeniemi took a high stick. The man's eye looks.
There's no way he could see out of that thing.
That looks all kinds of messed. No, I mean he left the game after that, which is fine because the Canes got a power play out of it. It was a double minor. His eye is fucked. His eye is messed up.
It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine. Don't worry. But on that power play, Aho scored the goal. Game ended.
And I love that for Aho. I think people sleep on him.
People do sleep on Aho.
He does not get the recognition he deserves, but I'm also scared to say that because the last time I said that about Natchez, who I hyped up for like half a season, bam, they shipped his ass to Colorado.
I remember so vividly when the trade deadline was coming up and we were talking and I was like, well, I think that the Canes are safe. I don't think they're going to trade anyone because like they're not going to trade Natchez.
We very clearly said they're not going to trade him. We said him and KK and Aho are safe.
With my full chest.
And I believed it.
Yep.
And you know what they say? When you change your perspective, you change your life.
The only other note I have on this series literally says, if I had taken a shot every time they mentioned that Jack Hughes was injured and not playing this series, I would have needed a kidney transplant. Liver.
I'm going to say something dramatic.
Say it.
Gun to my head. You could not make me watch that series again. You couldn't.
That is very dramatic.
Pull the trigger.
So we're clearly thinking rationally here.
I'm sorry, but like, it deserves to be talked about. That overtime goal, love it for the Canes. I love the Canes. Obviously, they're one of my big teams, and it really hurts when your two teams play each other. But it's also like, it's a win-win. Whoever wins, like, I'm going to be happy. But, like, the way that Markstrom, like, oh, my God. The way that Markstrom, like, smashed his stick, and the way that Nico literally fell to his knees when it was scored. Yeah. I literally... I cannot. I think everyone should be forced to sit down and watch the saddest TikTok that I did not ask to pop up on my feed about it, because and the thing is, I don't even know these people, but that hurt me so much because they did try the best they could. That's the thing. Well, I can't even be mad at them because they did try.
They did it pretty well too. Did I not take notes on? Oh, I did.
And I want to go. You're the best. You're still the king of my heart. And Freddie, I'm sorry. Please get better soon. But also, control, piano,
Yeah, because everybody was like, no, this is a questionable situation. What is it? He's a questionable goaltender. Bitch, where?
You can question these nuts. Because you're not going to say that about Kochetkov. You are not going to say that about my man.
Get out there and do it yourself, bitch.
You're just jealous because you can't goal him.
While we're already hurt, let's talk about the Habs series.
I don't want to.
I'm just... Oh, my number one note. Game 5. I hate it here.
This is hell.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. I truly don't.
So
it physically hurt me every time I had to post that the Capitals won on our story. But, journalism integrity.
Yeah. I also wrote down the Habs were falling down so much in the first period that they reminded me of the Devils.
Yeah.
They fell so much.
They were taking out Capitals players with them, too.
They fell down so much. ESPN popped off. So they show Tom Wilson on the bench. Y'all know how we feel about him. And next to him is a graphic of every suspension he's ever received. And
it was a lot.
It was a lot. It was quite a lot. And they were like, and you just know that the next time he is caught doing a illegal check, like they're gonna throw the whole book at him. Girl, I wish.
Do it.
I wish. Because why has he not been? Okay, it's fine.
That's the book getting thrown at him.
I didn't even notice that you were throwing the pillow for a second. Also,
can I throw the book at him? Is there like a contest to win?
Can I throw like a car at him?
Whoa. Also, I don't want to throw a car at him. I just want to yell at him.
I want to yell at him, but he doesn't seem like the type that would care.
I know.
Which is the most annoying part. Also, Nick Suzuki kind of scared the crap out of me. He took a fall and like a weird spin into the post. He's fine. But while they were talking about that, he's never missed an NHL game in his entire career.
Of course not. That's why he's captain.
That's
why he's my captain.
It's giving Brent Burns.
And the Stalls.
Yeah. So, Savard, that was his last game, too. He has retired. He was crying. I was crying.
I didn't cry, but I wanted to. I could cry in my heart just thinking about it.
I was laying in bed watching, crying, and, like, muffling my cries because I didn't want to keep you up. So if you heard, like, slight strangling noises, it was just me trying to quieten my cries.
That's so sweet of you. I didn't hear anything.
Okay. Well, and that's the Habs series. I hate it there. Whatever. That's honestly...
I can't watch any exit interviews or nothing. I can't.
Realistically...
I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah. But Delusion, which is what I operate off of, said Cup winners.
Like, how did we go from the Stanley Cup final and winning it to out in round 1? What happened, guys? That's not the timeline I signed up for.
No.
And now the freaking Canes have to play them. And I swear, I swear to you, if the Canes go out against the Capitals, I am going to crash out.
I might actually crash out.
So hard.
I might crash out.
I might actually punch a hole in the wall, and then I'll have to fix it.
If the Eastern Conference final is the Panthers versus the Capitals, I'm going to be pissed.
I don't know that I'd watch it. I think I'd just watch the highlights.
I'd watch it.
I would be rooting for the Panthers. I wouldn't be happy
about it.
I would be rooting for them Panthers.
Shoot,
Go Cats.
Go Cats. I love Brad Marchand.
Commit war crimes. It's fine.
Go for it. Anyways, Vegas Wild. They wrapped up this series.
Oh, Thank God. Everything's so sad.
I know.
Flower.
Vegas has won that series. They're going to go to round 2. I'll tell who everybody's playing after this, but they won game 5. They won game 5 in overtime. It just like pissed me off.
I did not want them to win. I wanted Flower to advance, and Brocky Poo and Boldy. They deserved it because I like them.
Mm-hmm. With only a minute and 15 seconds left, the Wild scored to tie the game to go into overtime. So they were so close.
They were so close.
That goal, though, this is why I wrote this down. That goal, though, the league actually reviewed it for a kicking motion by a Wild player. The league called it a good goal. Oh, okay. Let me sit my dumb ass down. Let me start over. So with a minute and 15 seconds left in the third period, they're tied 2-2, and the Wild scored to like win the game.
Yeah.
The league reviewed it for a kicking motion without even like a coach's challenge or anything. Determined it was a good goal. So then they actually challenged it for offsides going into the zone, and the goal was overturned. Yeah, so then they went into overtime. It doesn't matter. Vegas won that game.
It was very Abu Dhabi 2021.
It was. Oh my God. Yes, it was. If you know, you know. Formula 1. Game 6. It was a close game. Vegas ultimately won it 3-2 again.
Yeah.
The title of the article that I read was Jack Eichel and Mark Stone make clear that they belong together. And then it was...
It's a love story.
And then it was comma on a Vegas first line.
Oh my God. I know that they giggled when they wrote that line.
Me too. I love it.
That's so freaking funny.
Yeah, I do.
It's a love story, baby. Just say
yes. Yes. That was Marc-Andre Fleury's last NHL game. He's retired as well.
Yeah.
And the broadcast cut away during the handshake line.
Why would you do that?
To go to the national anthem of the Oilers-Kings game. I'm so sorry.
Which was a banger, but
I don't give a flying frick about it.
I can watch that at any time.
Give me the handshake line. It is his last game.
It is his last game.
But whatever.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So Vegas,
choices were made.
Yeah. So Vegas progresses from that.
Boo. But also, slay Jack.
Yeah, pop off Jack. Like, that one, I was going to be happy either way. I would have been happier with the Wild, but, like, I'm still happy for Vegas, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I would have preferred the Wild to win, but it'll be fine.
Yeah. This next series, I would have not been happy if it didn't go the way that it did. The Leafs versus the Senators.
Let's freaking go.
The Leafs
only
won.
Good thing that happened to me.
Yeah, the Leafs won Game 6. Thank God.
I was about to lose my mind. If they force a Game 7. How did you blow, similar to the Devils, if you will?
Lead.
It was very deja vu, if you will. You blow a 3-0 lead. You let them crawl back from the depths of hell to win 2 games. I was literally...
Yeah.
It wasn't even surprising, no disrespect, but because it's the Leafs. But I was manifesting so hard. I was like, we cannot go out round 1. Please don't do this to me. I've got to have at least 2 teams that I care about.
Yeah.
And they delivered.
Yeah. So Game 5, actually, the only thing to talk about, the Senators won that game.
Boo.
Boo. But Nyes versus Pinto, do you want to talk about this?
I mean, I don't really know there's much to talk about.
I know. If you want me to talk, I can.
Matthew Nyes laid an absolute banger on Shane Pinto.
Yeah. So
for reference, I don't remember what happened. I think.
do.
Okay.
So Matthew
remember who it
Nyes
was
has
involved.
the puck or whatever. It's blown dead, I think, for like offsides or something. I don't know why it's blown dead, but I know that the
hit it.
whistles blow very clearly. Everybody stops, but Matthew Nyes still shoots the puck at the goal.
But I'd like to be a Leafs apologist and say that he was already like in the motion of doing that. And do you know how hard it is to stop an object in motion? It's literally a law for a reason. So then Shane Pinto was like, cheaters don't win. So he freaking charges his, I almost said something foul. he charges at Nyes, which like, Nyes is not a small dude.
No.
He's not like a tank, but he is not small. Have you seen his neck?
That's a Formula One driver neck.
Like he can absorb a hit.
Yeah.
So Matthew Nyes like looks up and Shane Pinto's coming at him and he barely has time to react. He freaking yeets him.
And Shane Pinto goes
down. He goes down.
I think his
so
body
hard.
was up in the air and horizontal at one
Literally,
point before
like
he hit
I
the
think
ice.
he had whiplash. It was hilarious because it was Shane Pinto and it was someone else that were trying to like run up on him.
Yeah.
But Shane Pinto, he
got wrecked. He fucked around and he found out.
Matthew Nyes told him to sit down.
Yeah.
With force,
Yep.
and it was respected
Yep.
because it was with force, and I didn't see anything wrong with that. It was actually incredible.
Yeah.
It made me giggle during a dark time.
Yeah. So game 6, the Leafs, it was a close game the whole time.
was.
I was stressed. I was like, I can't fully be in the room and watching this. I have to passively watch it. Did I use that term correctly? I don't think
Yeah.
so. Oh, okay. I'm good with it. So they get up 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
The Sens pull their goaltender, my least favorite strategy in hockey, but it's fine.
Also, this is Nylander's birthday.
Yes, this is Nylander's birthday. Well, he's like 29, 30?
I don't know.
I don't know how old he is.
Age is just
But
a number, baby. As long as you're over the age of
age ain't
consent.
nothing but a number. Okay, so the puck comes loose and William Nylander from the opposite end of the ice shoots it at the empty net. It just barely misses it.
It curved a little bit to the left, a little bit more than was necessary.
I think everybody was confused on how that didn't go in. He just like stayed on the ice. He was just like, oh.
He was like, absolutely not.
So then he gets
wraparound.
the puck again and he carries it all the way to the net. He was like, I'm not missing it this time.
He was so fast.
You don't even know how fast he really is.
Shoo. And that Senators player was trying so hard. Like, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
good defense, buddy. However, you failed.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
It needed to happen.
It did need to happen.
And that's okay.
Yeah. So the Leafs won that series. They go to round 2. Thank God.
Who else? Someone else scored. Did they not? Or was it just William?
Well, like
William?
4 people scored in that game.
No, but I can't remember if someone else scored after him.
I don't know.
I don't recall at this time. It wasn't obviously memorable,
Jeez.
but it was necessary.
Real. Speaking of not memorable but necessary, the Kings-Oilers series.
God. So bland.
I don't know if it's just because the time difference or what.
They play so late.
I cannot tell you a single thing that happened in this series. I can't tell you a thing.
I bet a back and forth.
The Oilers won the series, but literally game 5, I said, what the frick is even happening in this series?
Not much. Just
And
a routine check.
Game 6, I said, ditto. Shout out Lauren Kyle McDavid for the extra Jets jacket / sweater.
It's so cute.
Like, that's my note. Yeah.
I'm just happy that, they're going around 2.
Yeah. I am happy about that. I was going to be happy with whoever from this
I've got
series.
the Canes. I've got the Maple Leafs. And then if times get rough enough, I've got the Oilers.
Yeah. Anybody but the Capitals is my thing.
They better go out round 2. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Please, God. Please. I need to talk to Rod Brenda more.
Rod.
Please.
We better protect Sebastian Aho.
I just, if worst comes to worst, let's just Jalen Chatfield yeet them again.
My thing is, when they go low, let's go lower.
Yeah.
Let's see how long it takes the NHL to call and tell us to knock it off.
They play aggressive, we play aggressiver. Because here's also the thing. The Devils, call-up guys are good. They're okay. They do what needs to be done. The Canes have better...
They got better fighters, if you will.
Yuhayaska,
Chatfield?
Tyson Yost. Like,
Tyson Yost.
If people get suspended for a game,
I'm telling you right now,
we've got other people.
If I was going to that game, I would have printed out the Jalen Chatfield absolutely wrecking. I think it was McMichael. I would have printed that out and put that all over town.
Yeah. I'd be putting up posters everywhere. I'd find out what hotel it was, and I'd mail it to the hotel.
And I would say, "Who's your daddy?" on it.
Yeah. Anyways.
Either that or I would say, McMichael, can you tell me where you're at right now?
How many fingers am I holding up? Okay.
That's what I need to happen. And I need the Maple Leafs. They play the Panthers.
I'll get to that.
They don't have a lot of fighters.
Yes,
I'm going to need y'all to bring it.
So the last series... Tampa versus the Panthers. I actually have a lot of notes for this.
I really wanted Tampa to win. Also,
Me too.
We need to do a wellness check on Taylor today if he comes.
Yeah.
Since he's a Tampa Bay fan.
The thing is, I feel like he knows what he got himself into.
Well, I mean, there's a bit of you that knows how it's going to play out, but we still hold out delusion.
Yeah. Okay. Game 4. Shit, we didn't even talk about this. Okay. About 12.
They've been delivering.
Yeah. I just had to refresh
They have
myself.
actually been...
I looked up and you were just...
They have been the most interesting series to me.
Yeah. But mainly because it didn't have a direct effect on me.
So I love the pettiness.
So about 12... If you don't remember, the beginning of this series...
Hagel laid a really nasty hit. Tkachuk responded by laying a slightly cleaner hit that was nastier.
Yeah.
There was back and forth. The coaches were chirping at each other in the media, which honestly I live for that.
Yeah. Hagel had been suspended for a game. He came back.
And then he got his... Oh, is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
He got his world rocked.
Yes. About 12 minutes in...
Sorry. I had to laugh.
About 12 minutes into the second period, Ekblad leveled Hagel.
I don't know that leveled is strong enough to convey what I saw.
No.
It was an assassination attempt.
Yeah. Which, Hagel's public enemy number 1.
Do you know?
I get it.
Yeah.
But he left the game because they were like, you've got to be assessed for concussions.
Do you know how
and he didn't come back.
You lay down cement and then you roll over it to make it nice and flat?
Yeah.
That was essentially what that hit was like.
That's such a vivid image in my head.
Flattened him out.
What's crazy is...
Which is crazy because the sins had already been atoned for. We had already responded.
Yeah. Also, they didn't call a penalty on that hit either.
Which was interesting.
That's a hot take.
But it's not interesting when you look into the family dynamics in the Florida Panthers and the NHL division. Sport?
However... That Ekblad hit, that was his second game back from a 20-game suspension.
He's their Tom Wilson.
Yes. No penalty was called. Tampa hit him with that 1-2 scoring right after, though. They scored 2 very quick goals after that. So, yeah, they really won to an extent.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Tampa hit him with that 1-2.
I said, go.
Yeah. And then in the third period, Mikkola boarded Griggensons.
Yeah.
How do I say that name? Mikkola boarded Griggensons, got a game misconduct.
He deserved it. That was a nasty hit.
Yeah, it was
dangerous.
Tampa lost that game. After,
but they won it in my heart.
I saw a post-game interview of these coaches. These coaches' post-game interviews, too, are delivering.
I love them. They are such sassy divas.
Yeah, he basically got asked about the hit on Hagel, what he wanted from it, and the guy was he said he's tired of he's tired of being asked about hits in the game, and then he goes I don't have anything to say. Do y'all have anything to say? And asked the room, he was like, do y'all have anything to say on it? Okay, then let's move on.
Love him. I'm so sorry, but that level of attitude.
I love it.
I think it's so funny.
I love it.
Mostly because I'm not involved in either of these teams.
Yeah. Every bit of information.
I would not think that's funny if that was against the Canes or the Devils.
No.
But since I don't care, I'm like, ooh, okay,
yeah.
diva.
Yeah. Every bit of information I find out about Tampa actually makes me like them more.
I know. I really do like them.
Yeah. And then game 5 happened in Sunrise. The Panthers won it 6-3. Ahead of this game, it was announced that Ekblad had been suspended for 2 games.
Which he deserved.
So he's suspended for this one, and he will be suspended for the first game of the next series as well. The only other note I have for this, Sergeant Sarah Iris Gilbert.
Oh my God. A bright light on a dark week.
Not Tampa making me want to cry before the national anthem.
So after
you go.
So they shouted out, like, you know, they're veterans, and they had like all their people that they normally do, like their armed forces representing. And the woman, one of the people that they were recognizing in that game was Sergeant. What's her name?
Sergeant Sarah Iris Gilbert.
Yes, who is an absolute, first of all, I think it was her daughter or her granddaughter. She's in a wheelchair. She is the cutest little grandma I have literally ever seen. Biggest smile on her face. And then her daughter's like holding the wheelchair. And her daughter is like looking at her, and then she starts crying, and then I started tearing up.
I cried.
It was so cute and so wholesome, and like everyone was cheering. We were like, "Yes, Sarah, thank you!"
It was a beautiful moment.
It was such a beautiful moment.
Tampa once again.
Dude, I'm tearing up a little bit just thinking about how sweet it was.
They were talking about like her great grandchildren and stuff too, and I was just like,
I was like, what hasn't she done?
I love it.
What hasn't she done?
Yeah.
She's so cute.
I said not Tampa making me want to cry before the national anthem, and then went down to a side note. That feeling continued. R.I.P. to your season.
I think that they did better than I thought they were going to against a very strong Panthers team.
Yeah,
I'm proud of y'all. We'll get them next year, maybe.
We'll get them next time.
But the Battle of Florida, done. The Panthers won. The Battle of Ontario, done. Maple Leafs won. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Yeah.
Also, the Senators, I think they played well. They're a very young team, and it was...
That
was Brady Tkachuk's first time going to playoffs.
Yeah, they haven't been to playoffs for a long time. That first game was so bad on their end and so undisciplined, but I feel like they did recover very well.
It's a majority, or I think it was a majority of their first time going to playoffs.
Yeah.
And like the Habs, their first game, I was like, babes, do we remember how to hockey?
Yeah, they looked so
babes, I know you're scared.
Too.
I'm scared. Let's be brave together.
I thought Lane Hudson was about to throw up at that national anthem.
He was so real.
Yeah, they all looked terrified,
and now they get to enjoy a long off season, and they went to playoffs. We tried.
I can't wait to see who's going to get married this summer. Nick
Suzuki's getting married this summer.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Okay, that's all for the series. I
a lot of heartbreak.
I was hoping that I would have all of the round 1 empty net goals scored, but I don't. So far, we're at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. We're at 27 empty net goals scored so far in round 1 of playoffs.
So my original guess of 43, we're pretty on par for that.
Because we were doing in the whole playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 27. In the Canes, by the
end of week 2.
The Canes didn't allow any empty net goals.
Period.
Neither did the Capitals. Neither did the Oilers.
Yes.
The Jets haven't so far, but that's fine. So far, the Capitals lead in empty net goals scored, as well as the Oilers, both in 4.
I will never agree with pulling the goalie. But you know.
Like, I understand.
I don't know how to play.
Plenty of...
It just
like professionals
hardly
that
work
say
out.
It's gonna. Yeah, there's plenty of professionals. There's plenty of research. The odds say it's gonna work, but like, I feel like it doesn't work far more than it does.
I believe in an Etsy curse working more than I believe in an empty net goal happening.
Yeah. So round 2 matchups decided so far in the Eastern Conference. It's gonna be the Maple Leafs versus the Panthers. I believe in the Leafs. I believe in the Leafs. You knocked out one Tkachuk. It's time to knock out the other.
Go 2-0.
2-0 on the Tkachuk brothers.
I did see that they asked Matthew if he had called Brady, and he was like, I'm just so proud of him. He played so well, and like I left him a little message, but I haven't, like, you know, they're on completely different times. So it was just so sweet the way he was talking about him.
I forget they know
Brothers
each other.
being brothers.
Oh, you said
Matthew
as in Matthew Tkachuk, and I've processed it as Austin Matthews.
Oh, see, my initial thought when I say Matthew is Matthew Nyes. But yes, Matthew Tkachuk got asked about how he felt about his brother, Brady Tkachuk, playing. He had some very sweet things to say.
Yeah, so...
Sometimes he just gives, like, older brother so well, and I'm like, oh, dang, I do like you.
I forget
even with that fuck-ass haircut. It's
that
bad.
Dumb-ass haircut.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Sir.
Anyways,
I'm like, did your fiance approve that?
Did she tell you that's okay? Because I don't think it is.
He seems like the type to... Let us not forget that Taylor dyed his hair blonde, and Morgan Riddle did not sign off on that.
That is true, but she did book him a hair appointment ASAP. To get it dyed back brown.
Immediately.
Okay. Other matchups. The Hurricanes versus the Capitals.
Please.
Nobody asked me about that.
You can ask me about it. Fuck them Capitals. 4-0. Canes. Yes. Delusion. Woohoo!
I think it's going to be a close matchup.
I think they're going to force a Game 7. And
I think so too, and I think I'm going to be unwell and need to take PTO.
Yeah, I'm going to need a mental health day. At least 4 of them.
Real. That's the Eastern Conference. The winner of those 2 games will play in the conference finals.
Really?
Yeah.
That was sarcasm.
Oh, I was like...
I was like, obviously.
Okay. Anyways, Western Conference, it's going to be Golden Knights versus Oilers.
Let's go Oilers.
You think Oilers?
Of course. I want the best for them. I know it's controversial. I don't know why so many people don't like the Oilers.
It's not that I don't like the Oilers. It's just that I forget they're there.
I don't.
I know that's a hot take on my end because they have 2 of the most notable players in the league. But
anyways,
who else is there? Draisaitl and McDavid. Okay, I'll stop now before I start a riot in Edmonton.
I don't think you're allowed to go to an Oilers game now.
I don't think I
you've
am
been kicked
either.
out.
I don't think I am either. And then the winner of the Avs Stars series will play the winner of the Jets Blues series.
I'll be happy either way.
I'm thinking it's going to be Stars versus Jets for that other matchup. But again, you'll know before we do. You'll get the correct answer.
It's like, that's so Raven. I can see into the future. That show was so good.
That show was so good. I don't have anything else to say.
I don't either. It was just a heartbreaking week. It was mixed and mixed. I knew what was going to happen, but I refused to accept it until I was forced to.
Let's
see how we're doing. I know I'm out because I had the Habs winning this thing.
I also had the Habs winning that series.
I had the Maple Leafs winning 4-3. That was close. 4-2.
Hey, I'm not too bad. I was wrong about the Habs series. Actually, I am too bad. I was I was correct about the Leafs winning, the Canes winning, Oilers, Knights. These 2 are undecided.
I had the Maple Leafs winning, Tampa Bay winning.
Me too.
The Habs winning because I am delusional.
Me
and then
too.
I had the Canes winning 4-1.
Yeah, we were correct about who won.
I was half right on that side. Yeah. And I had the Jets, the Stars, the Blues, and the Oilers. So
we're not too bad.
Yeah, but this is old.
Oh, so, yeah,
this
some
had
of these
the Jets
matchups
and the
were...
Wild. Yeah, this was a little bit off. Oh well.
It is what it is. And
to be fair, I did write I am delusional on my winner.
Yeah, that was delusional, but
I was trying to manifest it.
You know, if there's
I literally manifest
one thing I've learned from Gabriel Landeskog, it's stay delusional.
Stay delusional. Stay delusional.
Because sometimes you come back after 3 seasons off.
Literally,
and you're
the Habs
still a good player.
Back so well after 4 nations, and then with us manifesting them going to playoffs.
We got them to playoffs.
We made that happen.
We got them to playoffs.
Yeah.
And I take full credit for that.
I take 70% credit for that.
Yeah. 75.
Well, 60. I'll say 40% goes to the team. 60 of it was me, though.
Yes. 60 of it was delusional Habs fans.
I mean, I am a Southerner. If there's one thing I know how to do, it's pray. Please. Please.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
How are you doing mentally?
I'm okay. I'm good. IndyCar.
Most of your teams have won.
Here's the thing. Last year, we were both down bad, and then IndyCar came to Barber in Birmingham, and it literally fixed our lives. It came at a prime time this season, too.
I woke up yesterday. I'm not a morning person at all, by any means. I shouldn't be talked to before 9.
Yeah.
But I woke up yesterday and I was so freaking happy. Didn't even need a cup of coffee. I was like, let's go see the cars go vroom vroom. Let's go meet the drivers. You can't see, but we got a bunch of them to sign our IndyCar, our Indy 500 poster, and we gave a bunch of them friendship bracelets that Abby worked really hard on and individualized. It was such a good day.
Yeah, and
Life is where it's living.
Alexander Rossi and Christian Rasmussen gave us friendship bracelets back.
I know, kings, absolute kings, and that's why they're some of my favorites.
Yeah, they're
Rossi.
You want to talk about a good media team?
They got it going on.
We were talking about it yesterday. Hockey, you get media trained to where you don't have a personality, but in IndyCar, you get media trained into having a personality.
We said Formula 1. You get trained into not having a personality.
Yeah.
IndyCar, they train you to have a personality, but not get canceled most of the time.
Yeah.
And hockey, they only media train you after the fact, I think.
That's fair. They allow you to screw up, and then they're like, nope.
They're like,
no personality allowed anymore.
They're like,
Denied.
I'm sorry. You have now been subscribed for mandatory lifelong PR training.
Yay.
Woohoo.
Woohoo. Okay.
All right.
We'll catch you in round 2.
I think I'm going to get caught in round 2.
Me too. I'm scared. But it is what it is. I actually have no effect on this.
Wow. Who taught you that?
You, but it hasn't fully soaked in. Because I still am knocking on wood, and I can't make direct eye contact with the TV.
I will say, with the last Maple Leafs game, I was, like, really caught up in it. And I was like, I'm afraid to leave the room because I don't want them. They had, like, just pulled their goalie. And I was like, I don't want to leave the room and then, like, jinx them. And then I had to be like, I have no effect on this. What's going to happen is what's going to happen. I got to do me. Yeah. I got to put me first.
I'm very superstitious, though, so.
I know you are.
Anyways, we'll catch you in round 2.
Catch me outside.
How about that, Tom Wilson? Bye.